All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juan Abrego. I am the senior manager for our crisis response team for Verizon Frontline. I cover all of Texas and Oklahoma. Real quick, 20-second bio about myself, 20 years in the Marine Corps as a communicator for Infantry, Artillery, and Marine Special Operations Command. Retired in 2020, been with Verizon for the last 4 years, going on 5. So Verizon Frontline. What is it that we do? What is it that we offer to your agencies? So first and foremost, we're a crisis response team. We support state, local, and education agencies. We also support federal, DOD, DHS, and all those other three-letter agencies. How can we support the community? Let's say, for example, a school. If one of your schools, whether it's a college, high school, elementary, doesn't matter, if they suffer something like a cyber attack, we're able to provide assets at no cost to the agencies. So assets means we could provide cell phones so you can transfer the school lines to the cell phone lines, MiFi's, routers, so you have clean internet. So when your cybersecurity team comes on site and starts reprogramming your laptops, getting rid of all those crazy nastiness viruses that you might have had, you have clean internet to you to do those functions and get back online. That's one example. Here locally, for the state of Oklahoma, my most recent deployment was for the city of Barnstall. We deployed a small asset, which is a spot, which is a small pickle cell on trailer. It's a satellite backhaul communications, and during the tornadoes, we set up 2 of them. One of them was for the resupply point at a local church. The pastor was the one responsible for all the resupply and donations for the area, so we provided dedicated Wi-Fi to them. The other one was for the Emergency Operations Center. We provided another cell for them as well. Our network team brought in a steer, which is satellite backhaul for the big macro towers. So that's how we provided support for this local community during a time of crisis. On here, this 1-800 number is the most important piece of information that I can give you today. Our 1-800 number is 24/7, 365. You call that number, our team, it creates a dispatch for our team to come and assist. And it could be during planned events or non-planned events. So let's say, for example, you're in a small community, but your community decides, you know what, hey, let's have a big concert. Let's call it John Party. Let's have a big old party and, party with John Party, right? So now you go from a small community of 10,000, now you're going to have 30,000 people show up. Our network team can do a network review and let you know, how good the capacity is going to be, how can we assist. And if you give us at least anywhere between, 8 months, depending on the size of the event, we might be able to bring portable assets on a non-emergency event, right? So that's an option. What I have here next to me is Red, a robotic emergency dog. Ghost Robotics is who makes this hound here. He's able to run 6 miles an hour. On the top of it, he has a router, and that router is what provides Wi-Fi connectivity to the first responders. Let's say, for example, there's a fire, hazard materials are all around, and you want to send the dog first to get eyes on target, right? Maybe we need to go repair one of the macro sites, want to see if there's damage. We send the dog in first. Dog assesses. There's cameras in the front and the rear on the sides, so it's able to tell, if it's safe for our engineers to come into the area and provide, the repairs on the site as needed. Battery life is about 3 hours. It takes about 2 hours to charge it back up to full. It's a great asset. We have about 5 in our arsenal throughout the United States. But other than that, that's pretty much what our frontline crisis response team does. Like I said, if you ever need cell phones, MiFi's, routers, we can deploy that at a moment's notice at no cost to you or your agency. We only ask, don't lose it. That's what we only ask. We lend you 20, please return 20. But other than that, even shipping is free. So once you're done with it, you give us a call, we send you a FedEx label, you send it right back to us. So like I said, there is no additional cost for any of these supports supporting, our fellow agencies, our first responders. Other than that, does anybody have any questions? Go ahead, man. He can go upstairs, but there's got to be steps. So that's why we had to carry him up to the stage. But if there's steps, he can climb stairs. He can actually roll over, and he can actually if he falls, he can self-adjust. He is very strong, so we normally have to shut him down and put him down because he's a machine. So if you put your hands where you're not supposed to, he could break your arm. So he's pretty strong robot. Like I said, he does run 6 miles an hour, but as you can see, there's no brakes on that, so you gotta get out of the way. If not, he'll run you over. That's for sure. Anything else? A crisis can be, we don't dictate that, you dictate that, right, sir? So if you say, like I said, it could be something as a cyber attack. It could be, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, whatever you feel you need support from us, you just call us and we'll support you. And the big thing here is that you don't have to be with us for us to support you. Even though your organization might be with one of our competitors, in a time of crisis, it does not matter. You call, we respond, period. So, for example, when we did deploy to Barnstall, we put it on Wi-Fi. So that way, whoever's there could put their phone on Wi-Fi calling and still make the communications that they need. Because when we do put those assets, if it's a Verizon asset, so even though we're broadcasting LTE, only the people that have Verizon will be able to take advantage. But if I enable Wi-Fi on the tower, then that on-site responder, so for example, let's say I deploy that asset for you, sir, I would say, Ted, here's the password, you distribute it as you see fit. Right, so we don't control that. You control the distribution of the password, you control how many people you allow on it or not. Our job is just to provide the backhaul, to provide the resources. How you utilize them is up to you. If you need more, we have a logistics hub on the West Coast and the East Coast. So if you need more assets, we can always have them FedExed, overnight. And we do a lot of pre-planning. So I'm always on calls with TDM or ODM, Texas Department of Emergency Management, or Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management. And we always have calls whenever significant events happen. So if you submit a request to that agency, it'll come to us, and then we'll call you directly, right? But the best way is the 1-800 number, because the 1-800 number, not only does it alert us, but it alerts our network team. And then our network team can look at the tower, and we'll be able to provide. It could be something as simple as, a storm hits and there's no connectivity, right? You call that 1-800 number, and you could just be like, hey, we just need status updates on restoration efforts. It could just be something as simple as that. And then we can let you know, like, yes, sir, like I said, using Barnstall, because Oklahoma, the tornado took down like about 60 power lines and destroyed the fiber, right? So we were able to relay that information to the first responders and say, hey, per the power company, it's going to take them 3 days to restore that. So when you look at a power line, you got power on top, and then the bottom cable on the bottom, that's the internet. That's the aerial fiber. Right, so it goes by priority. So as the power lines get restored, once they're done putting the power, then they give us the go-ahead, and this is any telecom agency, to start repairing the fiber, right? So a lot of times we're at the mercy of the power company. But we're able to provide something as simple as just as a status update. Like, hey, that's the status, we're deploying this, we're bringing that, we're rolling a generator to this location. That tower will be up and running within 3 hours, whatever the case may be, and at least you have situation awareness for your officers of the restoration efforts and where they might run into friction because there is a down of service, right? So, like I said, you just call, sir. You don't, there's no yay or nay. And like I said, it doesn't have to be an emergency. It could be just a planned event. We're having a carnival, we're having a concert, whatever the case. Can you guys do an assessment? Does that answer your question, sir? Thank you. Anything else? All righty. Well, thank you very much for your time. Like I said, thank you for being here. Safe travels. This is the last day, so please be careful on your way home and make sure you get to your loved ones. Thank you very much.